What's up, y'all? Pastor Jason Mills here again, ready to give you our word for the week. So, first off, I want to thank you all for your attention, your views, your support of this ministry. It has been amazing to see what God has done. And so, I want to thank you for that. And also, I want to thank God because today marks 20 years I have been a Christian. Yes, y'all, as you remember my baptism date, I got baptized on March 21st, 2021. March 21st, 2001. Here we are, March 21st, 2021. And so I'm grateful for 20 years in the Lord. It's been great. I've learned a lot. I'm actually going to go on Facebook and share that, what I've learned in 20 years. But one thing I did learn in 20 years is what we're going to be covering on today. And the thing that I learned, if anything, is how to barbecue. And when I say barbecue, I'm not talking about in the physical, literal sense, but in the spiritual sense. Because what I don't like and what my body cannot handle anymore of because of my surgery some years ago, I can't handle beef. I can't handle beef. And y'all already know that sometimes in church we have beef. We got church beef. You know, we got some beef that can last a while, that sits there, never gets grilled, never gets cooked, goes bad, starts smelling up the place and everything else like that. And at the ETC church, we are trying to be more proactive with things like that. We're trying to be more proactive with and intentional about not having that same type of beef or whatever. And 20 years in, you know, I'm not legal drinking age in the Lord yet. You know, next year I'll be able to drink some communion juice legally. I was just messing. But I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of beef. I don't like church beef. And so God has already given us a perfect way to grill church beef and to, you know, swallow it up without it causing any real problems. And that is in Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 17. Matthew 18 and 15 says, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Between you and him alone. And if he listens, you have gained your brother. Verse 16 says, but if he does not listen, take one or two others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen even to the church, you know, the family, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. Okay, so here, understand this. This is how you grill church beef. One of my favorite movies growing up was Drumline. I love Drumline. Love Drumline to death. You know what I'm saying? Nick Cannon, that other guy whose name I can never remember. He's bald like me. So, you know, I was like, he's bald. He knows music and everything. Okay, yeah. But I looked at that and I feel like the characters, his real name is, I think, Orlando Jones or Orlando something. I can't remember right now. But the character was Sean and Devin Miles. They got into it because Devin Miles is the hot new freshman who's really, really talented. You know, severely more talented than everybody else there. He's like that freshman sensation that came in and just was, great. But what Sean, the Senate president, pretty much the head of the band, he doesn't like this new guy coming in on his turf acting like he all that, even though he is all that. Well, he's not all that because he don't know how to read music. He's flawed in at least one area, but you can't deny his talent. And of course, they have some issues and all that. Devin thinks he's better than everybody, which he is. Sean's here to prove to him, hey, you ain't nothing but a little freshman. And then they get into it on the field and all that stuff. Y'all know how the movie go. But what the director came in and said to them is what I want to base this lesson on. He says, I don't know what the beef is between you two, but you better grill it up and eat it. I don't know what the beef is between you and whoever it is that hurt you in the church, whoever you're going through it with right now. I don't know what it is. You better grill it up and eat it. But you know what? You may not know how. A lot of us don't know how. A lot of us don't want to accept how. But this is how. it starts with communication. Okay? If somebody hurts you, we should not be that type that says, you know what, he hurt me, he pissed me off, she pissed me off, whatever. I ain't got nothing to say to you. If you got nothing to say to me, after I hurt you, you better let that beef go to, you better throw it away. Okay? It says, if you have an ought with your brother, go and tell him his fault. There is some responsibility on the part of the injured person. The injured party needs to go up there and say, look, you hurt me. Because you shouldn't hold resentment towards somebody who doesn't even know they did something to you. And miss everybody with the whole thing that, well, he should have known. No, he should not have. No, he should not have. Obviously, if he knew or she knew that it would have hurt you, they would have never done it. All right, that's just real. They would have never done it. So it says, get up and go tell them. Just between y'all two. Don't get on social media. Don't do like, some of these other folk, you know what I'm saying, going on social media trying to embarrass somebody or expose somebody, something like that. Cut that. That ain't how God wants his people to act. This is a family matter. And it really ain't even a family matter. It's a you and this other person matter. Because if this person cares enough about you, and it says like if your brother sins against you, this is somebody you got a relationship with. This is somebody who is supposed to care about you. And you're supposed to care about them. Care about them enough to go and tell them and educate them and say, look, you hurt me. This injured me. And now also keep this in mind. He says, if your brother sins against you, go tell him his fault. Which means that you better know why you mad at them. You better have a good reason for being mad at this person. A legit reason. You better be able to go up to them and tell them X, Y, and Z why I am mad at you. Why I'm acting like this towards you. And don't give me the stuff, I had to wait till I could talk. No. You better go up and tell them and stop sitting on that. Because while you're sitting on that, you're probably going to tell somebody else. You better get up and tell them each and every reason why. And yes, you have to approach them in the way you want somebody to approach you when you're angry. When they're angry at you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Yes, you're angry, but you better learn how to communicate when you're mad. That's all I'm trying to say. You better learn how to communicate when you're mad. And the thing is, it's on their part now that you done brought it to them and did your part. Now the responsibility is on them to listen and hear you. It's on their part to, either apologize or just say, I hear you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. This is what, and the communication happens. Church people, we got to communicate. Us millennials in particular, we got to communicate. Don't just run from the church just because you mad at somebody. You better go back there and tell them why. Because see, you ain't running me away from the church. You're not running me away from, my family. You're not running me away from the people that I got a relationship with. Okay? I'm going to stay there and I'm going to let you know why you did what you did and why I have a problem with it. Okay? That's just where I'm at. See, that's how the Lord keeps the family together. You know what I'm saying? Like in the movie Drumline, that's how you're going to keep the band together. The band literally has to band together, which is really what Sean was trying to get Devin to understand. Devin's used to being a soloist, used to being the man, used to being a loner and all that stuff. Didn't have his dad growing up, blah, blah, blah. And then Sean's like, no, man, one band, one sound. They don't hear you. They hear a band. You know what I'm saying? If we got issues with each other, we got to deal with that. We got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? If you got problems with somebody, deal with it. But this is how you grill the beef. This is how you barbecue right here. Okay? You got to go to them and you got to tell them about it. And you know what? The Bible, it's interesting. It says go and tell him his fault, and it doesn't give a time limit. It might take hours. It might take days for y'all to just open up everything that has gone wrong between y'all. And I love how it says, if he does not listen, take one or two others, then you can bring people in it. If you don't want to hear nothing you got to say. If she don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And obviously you keep coming back, that means you obviously care about this person. So if you kept coming at them, you brought two witnesses with you who said, no, hey, no, this happened. You did that. Yeah, no, you did that. Okay? Now, them two people ain't supposed to be taking sides. They just supposed to say, look, this happened, this happened, this happened. Because when you're mad at somebody and you go up to them and say, hey, you did this, you did that, your two witnesses might be like, well, actually, he didn't. He didn't. I was there, I saw it. No, he didn't do that, actually. No, she didn't mean it like that. She never actually said that. That was somebody else, okay? Just, because they're not going to, don't take two people with you who you think are just going to take your side. And if you're that person that gets taken, that witness that gets taken, tell the truth. All right? Even if it hurts the person who brought you to, corroborate their story, you tell the truth. Don't lie for nobody. Okay? So it now puts responsibility on the people who got brought in. It's like, hey, be real. Okay? If your friend is wrong in a situation, you better let them know, hey, no, that's not accurate. All right? And if they value your friendship, they love you that much, they're not going to be mad at you for telling the truth. Okay? I'm just telling the truth. A lot of us, we try to lie just so our friends won't be mad at us. And I'm like, nah, I'll straight up tell my friends straight up. Like, if I love you that much, I got to tell you the truth. So, you got to be willing to go there and tell them about it. You got to be willing to get up and go tell them. And if somebody comes to you and tells you something that you did to hurt them, don't just dismiss it and say, oh, you're being too sensitive, or you're being too this, you're being too that. No, you got to just go up to them and say, look, okay, I heard you. I apologize for however or whatever happened, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times you might not even have to apologize. Some people just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. They're hurt and they just want to be heard. They don't even need an apology. They just want you to know that, hey, this is what I felt when this happened. Okay? And I might come off a little selfish because they're concerned about their own feelings and their own this, that, and the third. But the good part is if they have an issue, they came and told you. Now, hopefully, after you tell them this, you actually listen to what they have to say afterwards. Because it just could be a big misunderstanding. A lot of church hurt, a lot of church beef is because of misunderstandings. But the thing is, the person who gets told the fault, they may not listen when you have one or two witnesses. They might feel attacked. They might be like, no, I ain't hearing this. I'm out. Then you tell it to the church. Then you go public. With just the church, though. Just your family. Your holistic family in Christ. You tell them, hey, look, this is how this person did me, and they act like they don't care at all. And if they don't want to hear you then, if they don't want to listen then, if they don't want to accept what happened, accept what they did, accept their part, that's why he says treat them as a Gentile and as a tax collector. Because, a tax collector, the interesting thing about a tax collector, I love the language that's being used because a tax collector don't care about you. Tax collectors are just there to do their job. They don't hate you. They don't love you. They're just indifferent to you, which if you look at it in a certain way, that's actually the real opposite of love. It's not hate. It's really indifference. If I hate you, that means I got feelings towards you. I feel something for you. But if I'm indifferent, if I don't care a thing about you, that's a whole nother, if someone literally just feels absolutely nothing for me, that's somebody I got to stay away from. If you hate me, hey, I can live with you. Because, you can't hate me unless you actually really love me deep down. But if you're indifferent to me, if you don't care at all about me, about my well-being, I'm not going to see you except on Sundays. And I might speak to you, I might not. He says, literally treat them as a Gentile tax collector, somebody you really don't want to be around. Because even back then, Jews really they still weren't very fond of being around Gentiles. But, you got to treat them as somebody who's not like you. Somebody who's not, a believer. Because somebody who's not a believer, I don't expect them to have a heart. I don't expect them to have a heart after, the God is pleased with. I don't expect that. I don't expect a tax collector to care about nothing except getting their money. First of the month, first and the 15th, I don't expect that. So you got somebody who you've came to once by yourself, once, a second time with, a witness or two, a third time in front of your family, the people that matter the most to you, and they still don't want to hear you, that means they don't care about you. And this is how you deal with that beef. Wash your hands of them. Wash your hands of them, because obviously this is someone who cares absolutely nothing about you. But keep this also in mind. They might just do a whole 180 one day and come back and apologize and tell you that they love you. They might come back to you, and a real apology is them acknowledging what they did. Don't just apologize. Apologize for what? They might just do a whole 180 on you. And when they do, now it's on you to forgive them. That's how you settle church beef. That's how you grill it up and eat it. Be done with it. Send it to oblivion. That's how you do it. But it starts with you. Because you're the one mad. At the end of the day, you're the one mad. They don't even know what they did. They're completely oblivious. But you make them unoblivious. Even if you might feel like, oh, they know better. They knew that was going to. Let them know. They might not know. One of the guy, Orpheus Hayward in Atlanta, Georgia, taught me one crucial thing about preaching. He's like, when you preach a sermon, you treat the people you treat the congregation like they are completely ignorant to the sermon that you're about to give. You deal with that text as much as you got to, however you got to dissect it as much as you got to. Treat them like they don't know. Because if they did know, they wouldn't have done it. And then after they hear you, let it go. Please don't be that person that brings it up again, in public and try to shame the person. Don't be that person. Don't be that way. Because Abraham's son did that. I said Abraham. Wow. Noah's son did that to him. He said, cursed be Canaan. You know what I'm saying? Because one of his sons, instead of handling the situation in private, covering his dad in private, dealing with his dad in private, made it public to his brothers, and they tried to expose him. That's why his grandson got cursed. Because his son tried to shame his father. Can't be like that. You ain't got to always expose somebody. You ain't got to always take every beef to social media. None like that. Take it to the church. Keep it quiet. The whole world don't have to know you and somebody got beef. The whole world ain't got to know. The whole world ain't got to know that. The whole world ain't got to be invited to the cookout. And see you slow smoking somebody. We ain't got to know. We ain't got to see all that. That don't make you look good. That's not of God. God ain't pleased with that. God don't care about that. You're going to be flexing like, yeah, I showed him. I told them, don't ever come for me unless I sent. And God going to look at you like, that was just so stupid and childish of you. That ain't how I want you to act. You ain't got to make it all public. Everybody ain't got to know. Come on now. That's how you handle church beef. That's how you handle it. Get up and tell somebody. Use your words. If you're going to be mad about something, you better be man or woman of God enough to go up to somebody and say, look, I'm tired of having this anger on me. I'm going to tell you what it is. And I'm not going to come at you foul. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you respectfully, this hurt me. You might end up crying about it. You might end up, just, being all emotional and everything like that. But like the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And then you'll see exactly how much of a family bond you have after you and somebody just hash it out. You'd be amazed at how much love you'll find there. So if that's you, if you haven't been doing that before, that is something I need you all to practice. That's something I need you all to do. Start doing right now. If that's you, that's what I'm going to pray that you will do and that God will put on your heart to do. If you're still dealing with some pain and some beef, some unresolved stuff that you got against somebody in church, out of church, family, friends, classmates, don't matter who it is. If you are a man or woman of God and you see this video, this is how you handle beef as a child of God, okay? So that's what I need you all to understand. That's what God is trying to get us all to understand. You got a problem with somebody who hurt you, who legitimately hurt you. Not just you being mad at them, don't like them, because, when you don't like somebody, everything they do is going to probably piss you off. But if somebody legitimately hurt you, this is how you settle that beef. This is how you handle it. Okay? Love you all. I pray that your week is blessed, and I will see you again next week. Love you so much. Talk to you later.